Lands Cabinet Secretary Charity Ngilu is the latest member of the executive to comply with President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive on top government officials mentioned adversely in a report compiled by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission that he presented to Parliament on Thursday during his State of the Nation address. Ngilu, who returned home Sunday morning from abroad, will now have her duties taken over by ICT Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i for at least 60 days as EACC investigators get down to business. Ngilu's tenure at Ardhi House has been rocked by land-grabbing claims, even as she embarked on a process of streamlining operations in a ministry famed for corruption and underhand dealings.
How are you? You're good?
And as Ngilu announced a temporary exit from the lands ministry, her colleague in the labor docket, Kazungu Kambi, effected his departure, even though he had complied with the president's directive 24 hours earlier.
The mention of my name does not mean that I'm corrupt.
The outspoken former Kaloleni lawmaker had, prior to the unveiling of the EACC list of shame, proposed a prescription for himself if found to have dipped his hand in the cookie jar, a prescription he has not shied away from.
When I'm found corrupt, the solution is not only to be sacked, but even to be killed, just like the China way.
Graft allegations are not new in the Labour Ministry, with the management of the National Social Security Fund (NSSF) persistently shrouded in controversy. Kambi's temporary departure greeted with cheers by Court Secretary General Francis Atwoli.
Waziri wetu wa Labour, Bwana Kambi Kazungu, mimi nilisema kati ya yeye na mimi ni nani mwizi? Kila wakati anasema koti iko corruption, koti haina pesa. Sisi hapana peana tenda.
Ufisadi wa wizara ya leba unajulikana kuanzia siku sijakuja hapa, na nyinyi mnajua NSSF imekuwa ni cash cow ya watu wengine. Mmejua, na mmejua vile nimeinyorosha, nimelainisha, nimesukuma wanaume wengine nje, lakini sitaki tuingilie hapo.
Secretary to the Cabinet Francis Kimemia, who was also named in the EACC graft list, has also stepped aside to pave way for investigations. Kimemia, who was an influential and powerful figure in the Kibaki administration when he served as the head of public service, exuded confidence that he would bounce back after 60 days. The Trade Unions Congress that brings together teachers, lecturers and civil servants welcoming the purge on graft.
What we have seen in this country is devolution of corruption from one center to 47 setups, where we witness corruption in every form, left, right, and center. And this must come to an end because the taxpayers' resources of this country must be protected and utilized to deliver services.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission report will be tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. Senate Majority Leader Kithure Kindiki disclosed that Senate would hold a special sitting on Tuesday morning to discuss the report. The session will be preceded by a Jubilee Coalition Parliamentary Group meeting and a Senate House Business Committee meeting. The term stepping aside often features prominently whenever senior government officials are linked to corruption, but more often than not, these officers bounce back in their respective offices and often a reshuffle ensues. Is it a perfect way of fighting corruption, or is it yet another way of easing the public pressure? Francis Gashore, Sunday Live, Nairobi.